Want this small child to destroy everything? Then you've come to the right place. The score requirements for Tails' A ranks are high, but he has a lot of ways to score big. The main one being lock-on combos. The more enemies you lock onto, the bigger a points bonus that you get. 11 will give you the maximum 2,000 bonus. If there are 12 or more enemies on screen, release the lock-on at 11. Those remaining will be worth more as a separate combo. Each enemy type also awards points when destroyed. And as these levels are combat heavy, you'll be getting a lot of these. Most notable is the 1000 point gold beetle. This shows up in a fixed location for every level, differing between Mission 1 and Mission 5, appearing once you get close and disappearing after about a second. It's best to know where they are in advance, which is exactly what this video is for, so you can hold a lock-on as you approach and release it the moment they appear. Though Tails doesn't literally need rings to live in this game, grab whichever you see because each one is worth 20 points and that can add up. Rings in item capsules are scored the exact same way, while item capsules containing anything but rings are worth 200 points each. But note that while you can lock onto item capsules, they do not count as part of your combo. Only enemies and dynamite packs do. When going for A ranks, remember that lock-on combos are all about risk versus reward. If you get hit before you release the lock-on, or after you release but before the bonus pops on screen, you will lose the combo bonus. Always weigh up the risk between cashing in a small but safer combo early, or pushing your luck for more. Tails levels have plenty of points from enemies alone, but sometimes the time bonus can push your rank over the edge. This starts at 10,000 points, and decays by 20 for every second over 1 minute. For the mech stages, especially their 100 ring missions, it pays to know about checkpoint bonuses. Whenever you pass a checkpoint with certain amounts of rings, you will get an item. For between 20 and 39 rings, 5 rings. 40 to 59 rings, 10 rings. 60 to 79 rings, 20 rings. 80 to 89 rings, speed shoes. 90 rings or more, a shield. Mech stages don't contain a lot of rings, so manipulating the ring bonuses from checkpoints can get you to 100 much faster. Our score target here is 26,000 points, which isn't that hard to get, in spite of the fact that there's not much opportunity for long combos in this stage. We have to destroy these enemies to open the doors. We'll be getting a lot of, 2 combos here. Now, this guy, we can't really get in a good combo unless we, rush really quickly. I'm just gonna let him go. Here, though, there is a... I hate it when my Vulcan Cannon destroys an enemy before I can get, before I can lock onto it, though. But yeah, here we can get a 2 combo off of these guys. There is a platform there that will send you up to higher ground, but you can't really do much with that until you get the jet booster in a later level. This level's more about being a tutorial to Tails' mech gameplay, such as using the Vulcan Cannon here to blow up those boxes, and these robots. Right now we can only get a 4 combo off of them. Later on we'll be seeing those things when they have like 9 or so bombs attached to them, and they give some pretty good combos that way. Now here I'm going to wait until these guys come in and then try and get a 3 combo off of that one. Okay, yeah, there is a gun robot down there, which opens up the Chao container, which I believe is actually worth points if you break it open, but that's not really necessary. Like to try and get a little bit of a combo here, and here you can do something kind of silly, just hang back behind this fence. Doesn't really change the way that you approach the level or make it go any faster, but you might as well get your silly shenanigans in while you're in an auto-scrolling segment. Now here, I like to try and get a big lock on. Well, big by the standards of this stage, and I think this is yep, Omo Chao's best hint in the entire game. Thank you, Omo Chao, that was very helpful. Well, the part about rings replenishing it is legitimately kind of helpful, but still. Now here we actually can do something with this, because there's an extra enemy that'll come through if we head up to the top here. With the jet booster, you actually can, like, hover and get a bit of a combo through the wall of that guy and some of the other enemies on this other side, but again, it's not, like, super necessary. And yeah, here we can make use of the bomb guy to get a longer combo. But yeah, long combos, as I keep saying, not super necessary in this level. But what is somewhat necessary is that that guy there, the gold beetle. I'm so sorry, Trap Unicorn, but we're gonna have to leave you trapped because I can't waste time getting missile. Probably could have gone for a 7 combo there, but oh well. Okay, yep, somehow I left that guy alone. Hello there, jump scare robot. I was expecting flying robots, not a grounded robot jump scaring me. And over here you can get, we can get about 6 of them. Of course, there is one more robot in this room, which Omo Chao kind of assumes that you'll miss on your first time, because he's sitting right there to taunt you about it. Now here, if we move fast enough, we might be able to get an 11 combo here, as long as we don't get hit. And there's the 11 combo. We actually hit the guy up there, who is useful for opening up a path that we'll take later on once we get the bazooka to access one of Tails' upgrades. And that should give us more than enough.
I did it, Sonic!
Yes, you did, Tails. Now, the 100 ring missions for the next stages are actually fairly annoying because since you have a separate health meter that isn't attached to your rings, the game kind of expects you to get hit at least a few times in these levels. There's also not a lot of rings in them, probably because rings heal you and they kind of want to limit your access to healing, outside of like dedicated healing crates, you know, balloons, whatever they're contained in. Sometimes you get health pickups. So yeah, you basically have to pick up every single ring that you can see, and also not get hit at all. Which, like I said, is actually a bit of a tall ask for these stages, especially when there's so many jump scare enemies. Just break through those, and now just, don't have to worry about getting, like, really big combos, but you might want to delay yourself a little bit here, just so those guys don't tag you. Like, yeah, combos don't matter here, all that matters is your time. Watch out for that guy shooting you. There's a robot there that I don't really care about right now. Okay, you're about to release your bombs, yeah. Just don't worry about locking onto all the bombs here. What you do want to worry about locking onto is that, because that's actually worth a decent amount. Now, for the mech stages, one thing that you really should keep in mind is that passing a checkpoint with a certain ring count will give you some extra rings. And if you hit a checkpoint with, I believe, 60 or more rings, but less than 80, it's going to give us 20 rings. Now, that's going to be very important to know for the later Tails levels. For now, though, yeah, we only got a pack of 10 rings there, unfortunately. These stages, actually, it is possible to get the perfect, like, A-rank bonus for getting every ring in the level. I was going to say it's arguably easier than some of Sonic's levels, but like I said earlier, not getting hit in the Tails mech levels is a problem sometimes, and, okay, need just a few more. Come on, a few more, almost there. This shield is going to be a big help, though. Yeah, that trail of rings up there should give me enough. Was that too slow?
I did it, Sonic.
No, it was not too slow. Okay, then. The Find the Lost Chao mission has an A-rank time limit of 2 minutes exactly. As with the 100 ring mission, just barrel forward. Don't worry about getting long lock-on chains, though I'd like to sometimes destroy enemies just for lols. Try and jump off moving platforms early. The booster can help cut corners. The point we need to get to is right after the second checkpoint. Okay, so it should be coming up right around here. After this sequence. Yeah, so we need to take this hidden upper path. But instead of continuing, we're going to hover over here. You'll need to pick up the hover upgrade from Mission Street to the Mystic Melee Ruin, and then activate this spring here. And here, we just blast through everything so that we open up the cell door, and the Lost Chao is right here. I wonder what this Chao did to get locked up in a gun prison. For Mission 4, the time limit is 3 minutes, and the score for an A rank is 26,000 still, so you basically just do the exact same thing that you did in your first run of this mission to get an A rank. Just do it faster. And yeah, here's what I said earlier about how if you have the booster upgrade, you can actually hit some enemies through the wall and get a bit of a bigger point bonus. It was kind of cost me a smaller point bonus here, so it averages out in the end. And yeah, here, if you destroy that little floating gun robot, yep, it's right there, you can open up this path and get yourself, after destroying those enemies, the laser blaster upgrade for Tails.
I did it!
And I'm doing within the time limit just for swag points.
I did it, Sonic!
The thing about the hard mode mech levels is that the enemies do a lot more damage and shoot faster, so they are actually kind of more fitting if the name hard mode. Also, a lot of the regular gun robots are replaced by the shielded varieties. You kind of have to wait until they drop their shields before you can actually shoot them. Even if you try and use Tails' rarely used melee attack against them, it still often gets blocked. And yeah, there's a jump scare robot there. There are a lot more jump scare robots in the hard mode stages, which makes sense. For example, right here, there are 3 flying gun hunters, but they're good for a combo. And now, instead of 1 jump scare robot, there's now 3 of them. And speaking of which, we have this annoying segment here with this crusher, and right on the other side of the crusher is a jump scare robot. Yeah, that got me a few times in my first tries at this level. It's funny, like, after you've got the jet engine, it's really easy to just muscle memory into using it all the time. Now here, it's very easy to get greedy and get tagged by that first guy, so I'd rather just release my lock-on early and get a little bit less points. Didn't lock onto one of those bombs for some reason, but it's fine. Yeah, you'll notice that more of the gun hunters, the flying ones, have actual guns this time. Not really sure why they didn't put the robots with guns guarding the maximum security prisoner. But anyway, yeah, these guys shoot faster too, so be on your toes here. This is an auto-scroller, and I'm taking the regular way this time, but yeah, it's not really that, big a deal. So I missed that for some reason. Okay, then. There are metal crates here this time, so kind of a check for if you've got the bazooka from Eternal Engine. Now, I really love this part right here. So here, they actually put a robot up on the top path that's required to open the way forward. So it's rewarding the player for discovering the secret path, or, you know, optional path, in the normal mode version of the level. It wasn't required then, but it is required now. And there is a jump scare flying guy over there, who has tagged me a few times. And, yeah, they've barely changed the position of that robot. Yeah, be careful on, like, when rising on that platform, because it is very possible for you to end up getting sniped and knocked off of it. Speaking of jump scares, yeah, the gold, totally hasn't happened to me before. And, yeah, they replaced one of those guys with a shielded variant, making it a lot harder to catch in that combo, because your lock-on usually times out before it drops its shield, but oh well. Grab a 3 combo on these guys, and in here, it can be fairly easy to get greedy with the lock-on and get tagged by those guys. And now here is a kind of a pain. In order to actually open this door, you need to spawn a bunch of these jump scare guys over there by going quite deep into that little alcove. Could you drop your shield, please? Thank you. This is not going to be a particularly massive combo, but I will take it. Because there's a lot more enemies actually getting here.
I did it!
Hi there, robot that I missed. Yeah, you just sit and judge me on the results screen. I've still got the A rank, it's fine.
I did it, Sonic!
Mission Street is a very infamous level if you are going for the 100 ring mission, but we're not doing that right now. So we just get to have fun causing massive amounts of carnage and property damage as Tails, as it should be. Speaking of property damage, those small vehicles right there, so they were based on vehicles that Sega got a lot of parking tickets from when they were developing this game in America. So they put them in this game as a destructible object as revenge. And we have to go around here to pick up the booster. This allows you to hover while holding down the A button during a jump, which is drilled into your muscle memory if you've played this game before. Trust me, you will miss it if you go back to do a new playthrough of the game. I hate when my Vulcan cannon blows up an enemy before my missile lock-on goes through. But yeah, we need to do some shenanigans with this weight in the 100 ring mission, you'll see later. But for now, speaking of the fun of this level, those dynamite packs, they count as enemies for the purposes of combos. So they will let you extend your combo and get some good points. Speaking of good points, the golden beetle is coming up right there. Make sure to destroy that for the extra 1,000. And notice how I get a bonus set of 5 rings for going through that checkpoint? Remember that, it will be important later. Yeah, if you're not careful, that last jet likes to smack right into you while you're hovering. It usually doesn't knock you into the pit, but better to be safe than sorry. Here, a quick detour to grab that missile, though, there might be ways around it. So speaking of ways around it, I'm going to do something a little silly here. I'm going to hover around this to get myself an 11 combo for that sweet 2,000 point bonus. And there are a couple of gun robots coming in here. And okay, we got a 9 combo that time, which is pretty nice. Yeah, it's actually worth way more than an 8 combo is. Speaking of missing a combo though, I missed that guy, but it should be kind of fine. Here we jump up onto here. I like to tag this guy from behind. Oh, yeah, we actually got the other robot in the combo. Probably not the best though, because I wasn't able to get the full combo off of him, but take these guys out. Now, you're meant to run up the highway here and sort of spiral around, but if you trigger these 2 traps ahead of time, and then break this box, make sure that you actually trip that switch, because sometimes you don't. We can ride this up and skip a little bit of the level. We're still going to have enough points to get the A rank though, it's fine. So I believe here Chao just tells you be careful not to fall. Or rather, be careful not to fall. Chao being unnecessarily creepy at times. And I'm sorry Phoenix, we're going to leave the trap there. Also sorry Gorilla. Chao loves reminding you about the number of animals in each stage, but it only really matters if you're going for the Chao Garden, which you do need to go for to get 100%, so you might want to listen to him. It's a lot of taxpayer dollars to be wasting on a bounty on a fox, but, well, gun is gun, as always. Yeah, this segment right here, yeah, the Chao is a particularly funny hint for that. I probably should have shown it. I might show it in a later run of this level. It's actually kind of nerve-wracking on hard mode. On the regular version of the level, it's not that bad. And here, Chao is going to warn you about falling objects, but if we're quick enough, we don't even need to worry about them. And there's actually a whole bunch of jump scare robots here that can quite easily shoot you if you're not careful. There's also another beware of falling objects moment incoming. Tag that guy ahead of time, or at least get the bin near him, and hire the robot, and here we go.
I did it!
I believe those Sonic Team posters used to be ads for soap shoes, but since soap went out of business, they had to change them.
I did it, Sonic!
That was only A by 1,000 points, so that's Gold Beetle really helped. And here we go, the 100 ring mission of Mission Streets. The A rank time for this is 3.5 minutes, which sounds pretty insane for getting 100 measly rings, but there's a good reason for that. There are less than 100 rings in this level. They actually expect you to go all the way to the end, hit the back ring, and restart the level, respawning all the rings. But there are ways that we can cheese the system a little bit. So firstly, I don't want to actually go over there, not just because I might get shot by planes, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and grab that, because we want to get this trail of rings here, and unfortunately we're forced to wait here. Come on, Mr. Wait, come back down, please, thank you. So okay, we wait for this wait to go back up, and now we hover, because there is a trail of rings there, and there's also a bunch of rings here. Okay, so now we have 29, and with these extra rings, we've got 31. Okay, then. So now we've got that many rings, we can just, don't need to go for a full combo here, but we do want to grab that big pack of rings that's hanging around for us up here. Time isn't that tight if you know the trick to this mission, but the main thing is just going this far without getting hits, because we still have to go a decent bit into the level. So, because we have 40 rings here, we're going to get a bonus 10 rings from that checkpoint. It is the checkpoint ring bonus that we are going to abuse here, and you also want to be kind of slow and cautious so that you don't get bombed by the fighter jets here. Hey, they're fighter jets, they shouldn't be bombing you, that's a bomber's job. I guess they're fighter bombers. So take that out, hit this. So I'm going to talk about our goal in advance here. Our goal is to reach the next checkpoint with more than 60 but less than 80 rings. If we do this, the checkpoint will give us 20 rings, and that will put us very much on track to getting the final rings we need for 100. Yep, there's a plane there. All these planes are a massive, massive pain to deal with in this mission, because we don't want to get hit at all. But okay, yeah, we grab this assortment of rings. So okay, right now we're at 73. That is going to be almost enough. But yeah, here's the thing. We do not want to get, we also don't want to get hit by these crushers. But we do not want to get 80. We want to get almost 80, but not quite 80. Because the moment we go over 80, the checkpoint is not going to give us 20 rings anymore. So we don't quite trip that switch. We trip that switch, we go up here to skip ahead, we preemptively blow you up. And again, we want to get almost 80, but not quite 80. Because rigging it this way, come on, hovery platforms, line up, please. Okay, just barely got onto this one. So yeah, there's a checkpoint at the top of this. And because we have this many rings, yeah, we get 20, and now we get to complete the mission. If you don't know about the whole ring checkpoint bonus,
I did it, Sonic!
This gets significantly harder. So funnily enough, Find the Lost Chao will begin at basically the point where we ended the 100 ring mission, so let's get there as quickly as possible. Hilariously, there is a really out-of-the-way Mystic Melody ruin that's like right at the bottom of like a bridge that would like otherwise kill you, but that's not where they put the Lost Chao. See, it's these sequences that make me just say, who says the mechs are slow? So yeah, look at that. There is another rising pillar just behind this, this set of girders. That is where we need to go for our Mystic Melody. Though it might be helpful to grab this checkpoint, just in case you mess up, because then you can just die and redo this. Which I definitely didn't just do. So yeah, demonstration of the fact that dying is totally fine in these missions. So yeah, we drop down here, get this to spawn the portal. It's not over a cliff, it's right over the Mystic Melody thing. And that will warp us on top of this, where we can hover across these platforms, take that guy out, thank you. That was almost close. Get up on these, and there's the Chao.
I did it!
Oh wow, they want 3 minutes and 20 seconds for that. Made very good time there. For Mission Street's Mission 4, they've lowered the A rank requirement down to 22,000 points. I suppose they expect you to go a little faster and not get as many combos, but overall it's not too bad. Just do mostly the same things you did in your first run of the level. Okay, got both of those robots in a combo this time. And as always, knowing about this trick really, really helps in this mission. Also, you'll need to let one of these go down. I'm not used to continuing the level after this point.
I did it!
Yes, you did it okay.
Yeah, that should be fine. Would have been just below an A rank for the first mission, though. For the hard mode version of Mission Street, it's basically the same as most mech level hard modes. You just need to avoid acute, well, I would say lead poisoning, but it's more like laser poisoning here, just like the 4Kids dub of Sonic X. There are a lot more enemies, but it also means they've brought a lot more bombs on the bomb robots, and that means we can score more points off of them. For example, you get a guaranteed 1500 if you destroy the full 10 bombs on the 10 bomb robot variants. Here, they want you to, like, that was a metal box that I just broke, so they want you to have the ability to destroy metal boxes from later in Tales' story. Well, everyone on the hero side story, but you get the idea. Now, you kind of want to fall here, because that will let you get that multi-bomb robot. Probably should have waited to get the 10 bombs, because I would have been worth an extra 500.
Okay.
Locks 10 and 11 are worth so much, because 9 is only worth 1,000, but each lock after that is worth an extra 500, as I will demonstrate here. Because, yeah, okay, I got a 12 there. Anything above 11, you generally want to let go at 11, because 11 is the maximum combo for the maximum of 2,000. And here they've removed a lot of the flying cylinders from these segments, but I mean, I guess it makes the platforming a little harder, but, you know, it's mech platforming. There's really not much they can do with it. Funnily enough, this segment is almost exactly the same as it is in normal mode. Guess they realized they couldn't make the fighter jets any more annoying than they already were. But speaking of annoying, something's about to come up here. They put 2 jump scare robots in front of that missile. So that will often get you if you're not ready for it. Now here, oh no, dang it, I'm gonna miss my, normally I get a 10 combo there, but oh well. So yeah, the point requirement for this is actually 30,000. They've raised it pretty significantly. Yeah, I could have got a 10 there if I'd gone any further. But yeah, this right here, you want to wait for that to drop and then do your hover. If you fall down there, you have to use a fairly precarious ramp to get back up again. And, okay, you're already firing off your bombs. Let's get that 10 going. Yeah, here, I'm probably gonna go against the bomb and break these 2. Now, here's the annoying thing. So, there is no switch to reset these traps in hard mode, so we actually have to take the long way around. So, for once in all of my attempts at this level, I am actually taking the spiral of shame here. These platforms will actually damage you if they fall on you. You upgrade your shield at just the right time, and hello there, Mr. Guy. Yep, take you out. Now, this area is actually a pain. Firstly, I can't lock onto that guy from all the way over here, so what we want to do here is jump, let go of the lock-on in mid-hover. You can hold down both the fire and the jump buttons at the same time. Generally not that difficult to do with most controllers. Ah, I missed that. It should be fine. We're already almost at the score requirement, and we haven't even got our time bonus yet. Because that's just how hard mode be sometimes. Yeah, I knew I was going to fail that. That would have been really good. But yeah, right here as well, these are legitimately a lot more threatening on hard mode. Of course, you only give me a small bomb robot to redeem myself here. Hi, fighter jet. Nice to meet you too. Take out you guys. And right here, this, on hard, this actually gets a little worrying. These platforms shake quite a lot. Didn't even show off the Chao thing. Chao's not even there on hard mode. On the regular version of this, he just says, Earthquake! Earthquake! Which is kind of funny. Yeah, we've already achieved the A rank. And I'm just going to let this one fall now. I think I've, yeah, wasted too much time. Oh, hi, Big the Cat. I think this is the first big cameo that I've pointed out, but he is in every level, in the Steam version at least. They cut him out of the GameCube version for some dumb reason, but they restored him this time. And yeah, let's just ignore that falling thing and get to the end.
I did it!
So yeah, that should be way over the requirement for the A rank. Without even needing the time bonus.
I did it, Sonic!
It's a pretty fun level overall, though. I guess this one counts as a Tails level.
The president must be over there! Let's go!
For this one, we hold down well, it depends on your controller, but you hold down the jump button to accelerate. If you let go of the accelerator and then start turning, you go into this little slidey drift turn. If you go straight for a certain length of time, then you return to your regular style of moving. This drift turn can be nice for going around corners, but it's also good for, as speedrunners will show, is to maintain your boost speed. Now, I'm not particularly great at doing this, and I might be able to do it out here, but if I activate the boost, and then start drifting, this continues your boost speed, so if you can keep this up for like the rest of the run, then you should be good. However, I've smacked into a couple of cars, so might not be doing so well here. Activate another boost. Yeah, I don't think I fully got this. These give you a bunch of rings, which can help get you enough for another boost. You will need to save your boost for later in the race. Well, I guess it is sort of a race. If you're going for the harder missions of the driving. And trust me, this right here is a breather. The harder missions, well, you'll see. You'll see.
Tails, did you find the president?
Almost, Sonic. Just a few more minutes.
Well, I mean, it hopefully shouldn't be a few more minutes at the rate we're going. The rankings here are purely based on time, I believe. And that is a big hairpin bend, but I didn't actually get a spin out there, so that's good. You feel immense shame whenever you get a spin out. Always sucks doing that. Of course, in one of the later missions, you won't even get the chance to spin out. Speaking of later missions, these cars are going to become a thing for us to deal with in one of the later missions. Oh boy, we'll see about that. Did not get the spin of shame there, thankfully. We are coming up towards the end, I think. Another big set of hairpin turns, and here we go, we're in the final stretch. So with this boost going, we should be able to catch up to the president. And there's that limo.
Yeah, I found the president.
2 minutes and 45 seconds is the A rank time there. I like how the posters there say speed type, it reminds me of Heroes. Route 101, Mission 2. Don't need to worry about the president this time, we just have to collect 100 rings, and given they give you a whole bunch of rings here to give you boosts, I think it's 20 rings per boost, this mission is not super hard, so take this as a nice leisurely stroll. I'm not American, so I say leisurely, not leisurely. I'm Australian, by the way. And just like those Chao things say, drive safely, because that's going to be important to the later missions of Route 101. Oh boy, will it be important. You will obey the road rules or literally die. I'm not even kidding about that. Remember that these things, like, sometimes I remember those just giving you, like, a boost, but no, they actually give you a whole bunch of rings. Probably could have actually finished this mission there, but I'm going to finish it here regardless. And Tails drives off into the sunset. 1 minute 30 seconds is the time there. And now, Route 101 is become Pain, destroyer of cars. Or not in this case, because the mission here is don't hit any other cars. We still need to find the president and not run out of time though. So there's a balance here between going fast and, as the Chao says, driving safely. So I said before that this is about literally following the road rules or you die. Yeah, if you hit a car here, it actually will count as a loss of a life. So, yeah, the game kills you for causing an accident. And that will continue in the 4th mission of this level, which is also brutal. So, yeah, be careful when and where you boost in these missions. Also, it's very possible to get rear-ended by a car if you're going too slow, and that will count against you. Like, for example, that car very easily could have rear-ended me. And here, sometimes I like to boost up that hill to just go flying into the air and avoid that car. Don't be afraid to just let go of the accelerator, especially in situations like this. because you've got 3 minutes for an A rank here, which is more generous than the A rank time of the normal level. You can afford to hold back on the gas a little bit if it means not crashing into cars. For example, here this could be a slight problem, but yeah, we got this. Boost sometimes, but not all the time.
Tails, did you find the president?
Almost, Sonic. Just a few more minutes.
Or 1 minute and a half, because, yeah, that's our A rank restriction. Okay, yeah, it sucks coming all the way to the end only to smack into a car, so here I'm gonna start being extra careful. Remember to drift. Oh boy, those two cars. I am gonna actually ease up on the accelerator a little bit there, just... okay, gonna boost just to get out of the way of that taxi. I can't see that blue car. Okay, now I can see it. Okay, blue... oh boy, I hate these areas are, yeah. I don't know how I got through that, but these narrow little, parts of the tunnel... which way is this car going? I almost made the wrong call of which direction that car was going to go in, and it nearly cost me. Oh boy, that red car is really out for my blood right now. And that white car just despawned. Okay, good, because now that we're on the final stretch, we can get to the president, and it's over. And by the way, in those speed-type adverts, sometimes... I thought for a second that was another car, but no, it was the president. But yeah, they are advertising triangular tires. I don't know how that works. And now it gets even worse. Don't hit walls. If you hit a single wall, you have to start this entire drive from the beginning, and you also lose a life. So yeah, it's technically possible to game over in this level. In fact, like, you can lose lives here, even in the normal mode version of this, by going off a ramp and going off the edge of the track. Yeah. Like always, don't be afraid to let go of the gas. Sometimes that is going to be necessary. We've still got an A rank requirement of 3 minutes. So early on in the level, we don't really need to worry too much about things. Also, you may notice something. They have removed all the cars from this as a mercy, so you don't need to worry about them. All you need to worry about is the constant threat of barricades that are all along this course, which normally you'd think are a good thing because it prevents you from falling into the abyss. But here, they might as well be the abyss. Wow, Chaos Soda is advertised as Primal Venom. I mean, you know, sometimes marketing campaigns like that work, I don't know. You know, this was actually even before they established that Chaos was like the Ancients, which have a connection to Chaos, so Primal was more correct than they even thought. Remember though that you still can't afford to run out of time. I feel so slow here, decelerating and not boosting, but this is just how it goes. Normally I don't even like doing this, but I'm just going to give myself a bit of a buffer. Yeah, the more of a time buffer you have going through that, the more you can afford to intentionally let go of the gas in sections like this, so that you don't smack into the walls. Okay, we're not quite at the really crazy part yet, but this square turn, yeah, here, I'm just going to let go of the accelerator so I don't hit that wall. Okay, I don't know if that boost was a good idea. We'll see. Yeah, I decelerated a little bit here. Let's get back on track. And we've also got that narrow part of the tunnel coming up. Yeah, okay, this bit right here. I'm just gonna... I might want to actually start taking things a little slow, although I do have, you know, don't have unlimited time here. And there is another crazy section of hairpin turns before the very end. I'm gonna... oh, I already have a boost, so no reason to go in there. I'm gonna keep this boost for now, because I may need to boost at the very end just to catch up to the president. Like now, okay, good, we got this. Unless we just smack the wall at the very end, but let's not do that. Yeah, we've got this, we've got this. Normally, I would call the hard mode drive missions a breather, because when I first played this, I thought they were going to make Mission 5 don't hit other cars or walls, and that would have been truly evil. But no, it's just a hard mode where you're given less time, and they've added a second layer of cars on top of the first layer. So more chances to hit a car and lose a bunch of speed. So you are allowed to hit other cars or walls as much as you want, but not really, because the timing on this is very tight. As you can see, I've only got like 30 seconds going through this section. And believe me, I have played this mission before and reached the president and had my time run out right as I could barely even touch the president's car. Like, I was right there at the very end, and I still failed. I've even heard rumors that, okay, so the A-rank time limit for this level is 2 minutes and 50 seconds. And I've actually seen it rumored online that this level is, like, the timing is so tight that it's physically impossible to beat this mission with anything less than an A-rank. Now, I'm not sure how true that is. It sounds like an exaggeration because, you know, for a while people said you couldn't A-rank the Knuckles and Rouge levels if you used hints, but you certainly can. And I've heard a lot of people say that you can't A-rank Pyramid Cave without getting all of the rings, and no, you certainly can.
Tails, did you find the president?
But still, I'd rather not, you know, take my chances here. You don't even get that much time from the checkpoints, and the other cars slow you down a lot, so I might not even be on track to finishing this right now. This is one of those missions where it's mostly just focus on just winning, and you'll probably end up with the A rank just because the timing for it is so tight. In fact, yeah, I believe my time limit is giving me exactly enough time for the A rank. So it's going to be all about getting a boost and saving that for the very end. Okay, I'm glad I got a boost there. Got a boost here, swerve around here. Okay, here we go. We got to the president, and now I recommend saving a boost here because I have failed this at the very last second before, so let's boost and catch him.
Yeah, I found the president.
And that is Route 101. "10 seconds to spare, too." Hidden Base is my least favorite Tails level, but it's still decent. I just prefer his other ones. So I can get that Gun 4, or I actually now know they're called Gun Hawks, in the same combo as those dynamite packs to get a little bit extra. And the main gimmick of this level are these sandstone Eggman doors. To defeat them, shoot them until they die. That's basically it. That's part of why I'm not a huge fan of this compared to the other levels. Its only real notable standout feature are these doors, and the quicksand, which instantly kills you if you jump in it because the mech is too heavy to jump back out. We got 3 of these Gun Hawks. I like to call them Gun 4s, just because, you know, 4 is death in Japanese culture, and these things are very rapid fire. Unfortunately, got a bit of a partial combo there for just 2 OKs. Now, I've never been sure whether these gun robots are reprogrammed to defend Eggman's base, or if they're actual gun forces, and we've stumbled into a little bit of a battle between them and the Eggman Empire. Gun pretty much just exists to give a faction that can be antagonistic to both the heroes and the villains. Was a pretty smart design choice, honestly. Speaking of villains, these monkey robots right here, if you keep spinning, you can actually get a pretty good combo going on these future dynamite packs, and get an extreme combo. But I love the attention to detail here. Because those monkeys are Eggman badniks, they drop animals when you destroy them, just like the ones in the classic games. Speaking of which, those spiky badniks over there are also enemies from the classic games. But they, I think they were in Sonic 2 and maybe also Sonic 3? Actually, no, they were definitely in Sonic 3. I remember them in Launch Base. I wouldn't have known at the time, though, since this was my first Sonic game, actually. Destroy more of these monkeys, and now we break this door right here. And I like to take this path. They both meet up in the same place anyway. But this one I find is maybe a little less awkward because it only contains one of those big Eggman Sphinx blocks. I love the fact that Eggman plasters his iconography all over this base. That gets particularly hilarious in the Dark Story, but we'll get to that. Overall, this isn't a particularly hard Tails level to A rank, as long as you don't fall in the quicksand and die. Which I may or may not have done at exactly this point. But yeah, here, there's a bunch of monkeys up on the sides here. We can get into a combo with them and the dynamite packs for this door. Should be able to break through this. Tails, by the way, every level contains one special upgrade for the character, and Tails' upgrade in this level is optional. It's the Mystic Melody, which he needs to do the Lost Chao missions. There's a few Lost Chao missions where you don't actually need the Mystic Melody if you are a super pro speedrunner, but for those who aren't, the Mystic Melody is generally a good idea to pick up for that. And yeah, here we just have this little pulley that doesn't really take us up that far, and I believe we're really close to the end right now. Yep, we're right at the end. We have a bunch of monkeys that we can get on the sides here that aren't going to be a huge threat to us, and then we rush through. It's a pretty low-scoring stage by mech standards, but the A-rank score is fittingly low to compensate.
I did it, Sonic!
Before you can do Mission 3 of Tails' levels, you'll need his Mystic Melody. It's located in Hidden Base, just after this area with the monkeys. Knock down these platforms, but go down here where you'll see a bunch of metal boxes. If you have the bazooka from Eternal Engine, you can break those and head over to get the Mystic Melody. With this, we can press B near these ruins to play it and open up doors, create springs, mostly do a whole bunch of things that will let us reach Lost Chao. We have 3 minutes and 15 seconds to collect 100 rings in the Hidden Base, and the main theme of this level is just play the level that you would normally, just try to grab every ring that you can see and don't get hit. It's nowhere near as crazy as the 100 ring mission of Mission Street. We're not going to need to abuse the checkpoint ring bonuses here, although it does help slightly, so we'll be seeing maybe a bit of that towards the end. Just run past you guys, nothing to see here, and strangely there's nothing to see in those little side passages either. You'd think they'd hide some rings in there, but no. We are going to take a side path here though, because there are some rings down in this area, which will put us up to exactly 20, and with this, I'm going to be doing something kind of sneaky. I'm going to be doubling back on myself here, make sure you actually hover here so you don't fall in the quicksand, and hitting this checkpoint from behind to get a 5 ring bonus. And now there's another guy who's about to come here. The only thing on those platforms out of your way is a penguin. Again, you'd think they put rings there, but no. The mech levels are fairly scarce of rings. I would say surprisingly, but it's not really all that surprising. And now here we got a couple of gun hawks that we can take out to avoid losing rings. Here, no real reason to waste time fighting these monkeys. Just get on ahead, knock this down. And yes, if we go down here, we can actually grab ourselves a few more rings on this platform if I can actually get back up correctly. And we use this pulley here to get up onto this, and then you can just barely make that. So now we're at 43 rings going into this section, and the checkpoint gives us 10 this time for being over 40. No real need to bother with these monkeys as usual. We just keep on moving. Kind of want to take these ones out though. Oh, there's a couple of ring monitors down below that you definitely want to go ahead and hit, and now we're in this maze of doorways. As always, taking the right path I find is faster. In fact, it's actually quite easy to get lost if you're taking the left path. And now here, yeah, that's because we were over 80 rings, but yeah, we actually locked on into a secret area. Finding the last Chao on the hidden base is interesting because the Mystic Melody is obtained in this level. In fact, you can actually get it and finish the Lost Chao mission in the same run. And I'm going to show a route that does that. Though, of course, you know, I got the Mystic Melody earlier. You will have already seen that. So it's right about this section. We knock down this platform, but instead of going in the above route, we go down here, and you need the bazooka from later on in Tails' levels to get through here. That's the Mystic Melody. And with the Mystic Melody, we can open up this door. Let me through there. Break through this. This area may look like a dead end, but it's actually not, because it opens back up here. Our next stop is just after the door maze, past that checkpoint, which you can feel free to die and restart at if you mess up the next section. Up these two pulleys. Up this one, and now just past this door is the Mystic Melody ruin that we need. So we open up this, and then this area is kind of cool, although it's pretty easy to skip most of it. We can just jump straight down here. We can grab on to this pulley in the middle of these floating blocks. Jump down here, bounce on this, and we have this really nice Chao mural.
I did it! I did it, Sonic!
For Tails' fourth mission in Hidden Base, they've lowered the score requirement to 12,000, making it practically like a speed level in terms of the point requirements. Well, maybe a Shadow speed level, not a Sonic speed level, those have crazy requirements, but you get the idea. Just go through this quickly, get some lock-on combos, but you don't even need all that many. This is a very low point requirement for an A rank. I didn't actually show it the first time. The gold beetle here is actually right up that pulley. We did it with over 30 seconds to spare and already achieving the point requirement before even the time bonus. Yeah, Hidden Base is oddly lenient for A ranks.
I did it, Sonic!
Which is also true of hard mode, which only has a point requirement of 13,000. It's actually not hard to achieve this simply by, you know, playing through the level and without even needing the time bonus. In fact, it may even be possible to die and still get the 13,000 points needed if a time bonus is good enough. So overall, the hard mode version of Hidden Base is not really all that different, apart from the fact there are a few more gunhawks, and they also shoot a lot faster, and do more damage. So the main threat is getting machine gunned to death by these guys, but other than that, it's honestly a pretty similar experience. They changed up one of the other standard enemies of this level too, but yeah, as you can see there, gunhawks shoot a lot faster. Yeah, there's also some ones that have lasers rather than just the regular bullets. There's also a health pickup there, which is a little generous for hard mode. You don't even get a health pickup there in the normal version. And just flying around here. Yeah, so this time there is actually a gunhawk enemy there rather than just the dynamite packs. Strangely, they put some fences around here and remove some of the platforms to the sides. I'm not really sure why. And now we see the change to this other enemy. The monkeys now carry really big bombs that they still severely hesitate in throwing, so it's not that much of a threat at that point. I would assume they do a lot of damage, just don't let them hit you and you should be fine. Yeah, we've also got hard mode's obsession with these spinning spike balls. Not quite as much as they get obsessed with that in Sky Rail, but that's a whole thing for later that we will talk about when we get to it. And here, as always, we take out these monkeys, and there's no more Trail of Rings here. It's such a weird thing to remove for the hard mode mission. But yeah, they didn't want you to have that Trail of Rings, but they were perfectly fine with you having the 2 10 ring capsules. I feel like their priorities were a little bit not in order at that point. Speaking of which, not really reaching it, but oh yeah, they've slightly changed the way that this works. We need to reach this pulley here. But that's a little secret room that you can shoot your missiles into without needing to actually go in the room. It's still there on hard mode. And yeah, here these platforms rotate a bit, but overall, really not that much of a big deal. Like I said, there's only so much you can do with platforming in the neck levels. Now, interestingly enough, this thing used to be a metal box, but now the spring is just fully uncovered, and we can just walk right over here and not even need to bother with breaking those tanks. And here, they've actually switched over the pulley to this side. And there's actually even more dynamite packs on this central pillar, which just means more points, so I'm not really sure why they did it that way, but oh well. And here we bounce into another pulley, go up here, and then get into this area, at which point we should have... Yep, enough points for the A rank without even needing the time bonus, as usual. I like the way this level ends, though. Just all of these Eggman insignias everywhere. So, that is Tails' hidden base.
I did it, Sonic!
Hi there, random animal. Eternal Engine is one of my all-time favorite levels in this game, mostly due to the amazing music, but also because it's an opportunity to really go to town as Tails. The A-rank point requirement is 35,000, the highest of any Hero Story level. Of course, the Dark Story will significantly blow that out of the water later. Now, inside that boiler that you can lock onto is just a pipe that you can whistle at to get some animals, but whistling is actually involved in a kind of a possible bug, possible feature in the mech levels. I may talk about that later though, because for here, we actually can lock on to both these guys at once to get a 2,000 point combo. And here we have the main gimmick of this level, these dynamite packs. If you shoot these will open holes in the space colony that will try and suck you out to space. But if you're feeling particularly confident, you can blow them up on purpose to get the point multipliers. Now here, we're actually forced to go through here to press a switch, and do not start firing like crazy, or you will hit those dynamite packs and most likely get sucked out to space. Also, Chao just got sucked into space there, but as you can just see by the fact that he showed up again, sadly for everybody in the entire world, Chao has hundreds of backup bodies. We'll never be rid of him. But yeah, that whistle glitch that I was talking about earlier, so if you get a lock-on chain and then whistle, it actually gives you the full points for the chain as if you destroyed that chain of enemies, even though you actually didn't fire the missiles. Like I said, I don't know if this is a bug or a feature. It almost feels like it's a feature given like how obscure it is to pull off. And in casual play, it's not super useful. Speedruns sometimes use it, you know, so that they can just speedrun through levels without needing to worry about getting too many enemy combos. So yeah, here, because you have to wait for this anyway, thanks to pressing that switch, I like to use that first spring to grab the ring capsule and then use the second spring to actually bounce on top of the weight to progress. And we're about to meet something that every player of Sonic Adventure 2 despises, Artificial Chaos. They can only be damaged when their heads are exposed, and that usually requires either luck or, for the ones that just that just act like stationary blobs on the ground, Tails' melee attack works surprisingly well against them. It's done by pressing the shoot button while next to an enemy. Tails will like fire off his propeller into the enemy. Artificial Chaos, surprisingly weak to the propeller attack. Now that lock room over there, the switch to open is in this sequence. It's totally optional, it just leads to a couple of like extra ring pickups and stuff. Sometimes you can sneak a lock on past the wall, but don't count on doing it. Speaking of things that I don't like to count on though, yeah, you can get a big combo on this bomb robot if you like try and rush past the other enemies and get them in the same combo. However, as you can see here, it's pretty easy for these flying gun hunters to shoot you and ruin your combo. If you get hit at any time before that point bonus pops up on your screen, you won't get the bonus, even if you release the missiles and destroy the enemies. And losing a 2,000 bonus that way hurts a lot, which is why I generally prefer to sometimes play it safe with smaller combos. I feel like I say generally too much in these videos. But anyway, there's a lot of things there. I got a little cocky at that point, but we made it, so it's fine. We've got a shield pick up here. beware of this jump scare guy, and also there are artificial chaos here. Those were float-type artificial chaos. Thankfully, their heads are always exposed. They're not too hard for the next to destroy. Sonic has a bit more of a problem with them, but we'll encounter that once we get to his levels. So, this area right here is a bit of a slight detour, because we need to have the access to the ability to destroy metal boxes in order to progress. And for that reason, we have to trip that switch, and then head back up on this platform, so we can go in here and obtain the bazooka! Yeah, I love how Tails just gets a bazooka here. So now that we have the bazooka, we can use that to explode the metal boxes that are blocking the way, and progress through the level. Now, every metal box destroyed does give you points. Hi, Big the Cat, just casually hanging out in outer space. Because big. Glad I had that shield there. Oh, right, yeah, probably don't want to hit those dynamite packs. But thankfully that pulley, has a stronger gravitational pull than the Earth's gravity itself, somehow. And was able to save us. I love the big cameos. I would like Big to... I really want there to be like an after-credit scene in one of the Sonic movies that is just like Sonic going to the lake and then he just sees Big the Cat, just the shadow of him gradually appearing, and then you just hear Froggy, and it cuts to black. That would be like the best after-credit scene ever. So anyway, this sequence right here, you're floating around in 0G. Kind of hard to get good combos on the enemies, but we don't really need to because we're... Stupid artificial chaos! Ugh. Because we've almost got the full point requirement anyway. I like this big cluster of enemies around here, but I don't like this big cluster of artificial chaos that's coming up. Thankfully, Tails, your power's not failing anymore. Okay, get those guys. Yeah, I've already achieved the A rank right now. So here, we just need to repeatedly get a bunch of lock-ons and then fire. You can get some pretty good combos here, actually. There is actually a small bit of wind that can save you if you fall, but it's only, like, directly in front of this turbine. And that is mission 1 over. Yeah, that was pretty long, but we got enough of a time bonus to push us over.
I did it, Sonic!
Eternal Engine has so much stuff shooting at you that the main risk here isn't getting 100 rings, it's keeping them. This is really more of a no-hit run than it is a ring collection run. I like to go for short combos, because score doesn't actually matter, you just need to take out everything before it can hit you. We're given 3 minutes and 30 seconds for getting all the rings here. So, again, this is less about, like, you know, scrambling to find rings quickly, as it is about just not getting hit and holding on to them. Be careful with your fire during sections with both dynamite packs and also with these big capsules, because you don't want to get exploded by one of those. Those blast radiuses are pretty big. And let's not embarrass ourselves by hitting these lasers. Now here, we actually do still have to make this detour to flip the switch. Oh, I shot into this room a little bit, and, oh, hey, here's the Chao key. This is like one of the first times I picked up the Chao key in these. But yeah, there's an enemy over there. I like to make sure that I take him out so that he doesn't tag me. Oh, that explosion almost got me. And I always get trigger happy here. There's no reason to lock onto those, so don't try. Okay, we have 42 rings now. We get these guys. We jump down here to hit this. Oh, you have to wait for the missile to fully spawn in before you can actually press the button. Like, it actually has to come out of that little compartment in the ground. But yeah, I'm sure they set the requirements for these levels time-wise very high just because they knew that these were more about not getting hit than they were about actually, like, gathering the required number of rings. So there's a checkpoint coming up, but sadly, we're not going to have 60 or more rings by the time we hit it, so we're not going to get that sweet 20 ring bonus, but we are going to get a 10 ring bonus. And here, yeah, like I said, Tails' melee attack is pretty effective against these blob artificial chaos. And these ones right here are just going to stay there and shoot. Not nearly the worst of the artificial chaos variety. Sadly, there are no rings hidden in these classes of boxes. but you will want to make sure to stay between the lasers, because these lasers will actually damage you and reduce your rings. Well, they'll reduce your rings to 0, so technically still reducing them, but yeah, getting rid of all of them. There aren't any secret rings inside any of these things, but this is going to go ahead and give us a set of 20 rings. And so we've got to be really careful because there are a lot of things about to try and shoot us in this segment. Also, while being careful, yeah, sometimes it's best not to just go for every single ring in that chain, because if you do, the odds of you actually either falling into space or getting hit are quite high, but we'll reach the requirement here. There we go. Okay, did it!
I did it, Sonic!
We have 2 minutes and 45 seconds to find the Chao that's got itself lost on Space Colony Arc. There are actually quite a few Chao that have got themselves lost in that way. I wonder if they were, like, actually experimented on to make the artificial chaos or something. I don't know. In fact, that's entirely possible and kind of tragic to think about. But, yeah, lore questions are neither here nor there. We need to reach just after the first checkpoint to get to the ruin. So after that Omo Chao switch, the first time you're outside, there is a platform all the way over here that we can go over to and play the Mystic Melody, which will summon some more ruin platforms. So this is one of those levels where reaching the ruin is just the beginning. We've got a gauntlet to get through before we can find this lost Chao. So from here, yeah, there's a platform swinging around that we can reach onto, and then we can hover over to this right here. Hold your fire! If you shoot that artificial chaos, every single airlock in the room will open. Which is... that's gonna be a thing. We're here with basically a minute to spare. We've got to hover over that laser grid, so hopefully my angle makes it. There we go, and the lost Chao is right here.
I did it!
That one's one of the more fun lost Chao missions,
I did it, Sonic!
but that whole artificial chaos thing is a big jerk move. Mission 4 of Eternal Engine, 5 minutes can actually be a tight time and a hit. You might notice that I went over that in my attempt of Mission 1 here. But to compensate, they lowered the score requirement down to 30,000. Which, given the big time bonus you're likely to get, at least by tail stage standards, if you go fast, you're likely to end up with this without getting too many big combos. Even under a time limit, I would not recommend rushing this section, because that green water is instant death. Obviously, on subsequent visits to this level, you don't need to go through that whole bazooka sequence, you can just skip straight here. Might be safer to blow those dynamite packs while you're already on the pulley. Okay, I've reached the final sequence, very, very close to 30,000 points, so let's just drop all the way down and just focus on doing this as fast as possible. We should have the A rank secured by now. Yeah, that was a lot of OK's, Tails. Exactly 30,000 by the time we touch this. So we've got the A rank without even the time bonus. And the time bonus would have given us enough for an A in the regular version of the level.
I did it, Sonic!
Hard mode Eternal Engine sets the A rank requirement back up to 35,000. But there's so many enemies, there's going to be ample opportunities to get that score. Really, the main name of the game here is don't die. So yeah, we've also got laser variants of the bomb gun robots. They don't show up very often, but, well, this is one of the few places they do show up. Sometimes I actually end up clipping into that spring without breaking that box. That gun robot with the bombs is as ineffectual as always. But what's not ineffectual is this artificial chaos being right next to a dynamite pack, alongside this thing being on top of a dynamite pack. Dynamite packs and more artificial chaos. Basically, every way to make your life miserable, hard mode Eternal Engine has. Which kind of makes sense, because, you know, Space Colony Arc, Gerald hated everything, so it makes sense that he'd make his hard mode as easy as possible. But here, you actually need to accidentally fire a missile there, which is not good. You actually need to fire there to break one of the boxes to hit that switch. This area, though, mercifully, is exactly the same as is a normal mode. I do wish that I was able to get an 11 combo there, but oh well. And all they add here is just one little gun robot, but enjoy the breathers while you still can, because Gerald's sadism will come back in a big way. For example, the platforms here across this bottomless pit are a lot smaller now. Feels like it's a little bit random which part of that cage wall the missile destroys, but these are not going to be the last of the shrunk platforms we'll be encountering in this level. Yep, got that guy again. And here, Gerald doesn't even have the decency to give us a 5-ring capsule. It's just, nope, you don't have nice things, because this is hard mode. I mean, at least you still get checkpoints, but that's a small mercy. Also, yeah, Artificial Chaos hurt a heck of a lot on hard mode, and, wow, that one took a while to die. And here we have a whole bunch of sucky gravity holes, and let's avoid getting shot by those guys. And wow, I am barely alive right now. Yeah, they've made the platforms way smaller here too. You have to really slip through those cracks. And what used to be a full heal is now 20 rings. But at least the shield is still here. 3 more of these guys. Just watch out for those exploding things. It's very easy to, like, you lose your shield immediately. And oh hey, look, they've put dynamite packs here now. They're, like, everywhere. Yeah, hard mode Eternal Engine's pretty frantic. It's definitely a big change from, dynamite pack. From Eggman's final hard mode level, which is just kind of still fairly easy. In fact, it gives you a ridiculously high A-rank point requirement just so you can really go to town with blowing everything up, but that will be in a different video, obviously. Artificial Chaos next to dynamite packs. Well, I mean, at least the dynamite packs kill it. No, more dynamite pack, yep. Apologies if my commentary here is a little frantic, but dynamite pack again. This is fun though. I'm having the fun, as Knuckles would say. I won't be having the fun though if those things get me. I actually have a decent amount of health left though at this point. Hi there. And well, I mean, small mercy is we don't have to go through that whole section of getting the bazooka. Not so small mercy is there's Artificial Chaos here now. And as I showed there, like, yeah, the Tails melee attack is pretty decent at, Big, you're a braver person than I for actually managing to, just casually sit here on hard mode. Didn't even accidentally blow up that dynamite pack that time, which is good, because you don't want to die this late into the level. I think this actually is one of these levels where it's very possible to die early and still get the A rank. But you generally want to avoid death where possible. Okay, we've hit 30,000, and I'm on track to be getting a decent time bonus. And yeah, hi there, floating Artificial Chaos. The shaft segment at the very end is also going to be a lot more of a thing. Yeah, Artificial Chaos also shoot faster. Could you just, yeah, die. Okay, here we go. Down this shaft. This part's not too bad. It's gonna get way worse though. Yep, there's an Artificial Chaos that is gonna be going like laser spam all over the place. Oh, I've already achieved the A rank, so no need to worry here. There are a whole bunch of these guys here now, and funny thing about this that I learned from speedruns is that that wind just in front of this engine that will normally save you on normal mode, that's not there on hard mode. So if you fall there, you will die right at the end. And probably fall for your A rank, but okay, wow, that was more fun than I expected. Sadistic, but fun.
I did it, Sonic! Kart racing, my favorite!
Simply finishing all of Tails' missions unlocks his alternate card in kart race mode, which for him isn't even Tails at all, it's a Chao.
I'll show you how powerful my cyclone is.
While finishing all Tails' missions with an A rank, unlocks his alternate costume for the multiplayer battle mode. This one is styled after the color scheme of the classic Tornado from the original Sonic trilogy, and it cancels your ability to use specials, but in exchange, you move really, really, really fast. I believe this one is considered broken in any form of competitive play.